let's look at the first alert that got off. Let's just start with some higher time frame, right? So we see some kind of a I don't know. Last time, I don't know if you were here or not, but I totally trade in a different way than most people do. Most people are really looking at these special kind of very difficult patterns and stuff. But for me, I like to keep it easy. So what I see, I put this line here just really easy because it's actually something which is pretty important for me. So it got here, it bounced, it was a support, it broke through, it got back up, it rejected again, and then it flies through. So meaning it's quite a good level here. So if we remove all of that, we go on, we see the same story happening. It bounces here, it goes through, it rejects, support, 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 it becomes resistance, resistance, it rejects, and now we're here again. So what does it mean? It means we have some kind of a quite an important level to look at. We'll just keep it easy and put the fib here on the daily from here to here. And yeah, I know that other people use fair value gaps. They say discount zones. They look for all of these special kind of ways of explaining the same thing. Actually, in my opinion, it's the same thing. So what does it mean? It offers us like a very nice option to get in a coin in. If you would look at normally there's like a half 50%. Yeah, so this is the 50% of that move up, meaning everything below here becomes discount and everything below here is the premium stuff. So if you look at where it is now, I don't usually use 50. I just use a golden pocket and then the ones below here, the 886 and the 786, because I think that these are the most important ones. So looking at it, you could say if we enter here, we're not going to enter, just let's make it a scenario. If you enter here and you would say, yeah, I want to make a nice trade here, and I want to look at where we could possibly go, or what we could possibly have is, we're not targeting the highs. You could target the highs, but of course you should be TPing sooner. So I think this is quite a nice level here. If you look at it here, we bounce back on that daily candle. You could also make a small TP here, or of course at this high here. But this is all on the the higher time frame, right? You could also say, yeah, we go for the full extension, which might of course be possible, but I don't think it will happen because it's, what is it, 22,400, which is, yeah, I don't think we need to look at that. But what it says is, if we go a bit lower in time frames, we will have a bit more, we will have things that will make more sense. So looking at what we said here, this is a level, these are a few levels. We'll plot out a few more levels like this one here, and then we'll get into this level, and then we'll just remove, maybe we can draw a small box to indicate our golden bucket here, and then we'll remove it. We'll remove the fib here because it's too crazy to handle. So what I'd like to do is, I'd like to maybe trade from here to here, which is already 13.5%, which is a pretty crazy move, or from here to maybe here, which will be a big resistance. So I am really looking at maybe risking a little bit here. I'm not saying you need to risk a massive amount, but this is really a nice move to me. It's like a move inside the move. So what we could do is we could take it, we could possibly TP here 75%. Yeah, let's say you TP 25% here. Yeah, it's white on white. Of course, you will not see it, so I'll put some text here. TP1, you TP a bit here, and then you TP a bit here. Can I? Yeah. And then if you really want to be a crazy guy, you could even keep like a runner to. Oh, damn it! You could keep a runner to the highs, which will never happen, but you could try it, right? So for me, this is really a good one to give a shot. Now, the question is where we put our stops. We'll just look back in time, and we put on our favorite indicators. So what do we see? We see it is actually the bottom here, the S3 of that range, which is to me like really the cutest. So if I remove this, because I started using the other RSI, not the stochastics, but the normal one, we're probably going to see that, yeah, we're probably going to see that we're going to try to get over it. So I think if you want to risk a little bit with me, I will go for this, and it's a nice 5R trade, which is ridiculously good in my opinion. If we refine those TPs a bit, we'll just TP the Monday low, the Monday high, which are quite some levels here, and then we could maybe even TP a little bit on the previous week high. Remove this one to remove the clutter. Why do I say this? Because I don't know if you've seen my last stream, but I like to always count on the 200 EMA, which is here. And yeah, to me it makes sense to actually look at it. If we go a little bit down in a lower time frame and we remove this 200 EMA and we put the EMAs, can you do like a triple EMA thing? This one. Let's see where we are. Under 50 minutes we're trying to reclaim that, so I would actually, we could wait a bit. Thinking that it didn't swipe that forecast, but it looks like it. PO3, yeah. That's the thing. You guys have all these kind of special ways of explaining, but for me, I just look at the chart, and I didn't learn all those patterns. I didn't have anyone before. I just joined you guys a few months ago, and now I'm learning the names for those patterns. But for me, I see them coming up. I don't necessarily know what the names are of those things. I know, for example, I always look at the YFItrade streams, and he's really very knowledgeable. I learned so much from him. Things I knew, but I never got to give it a name, right? So what I'm going to look at here is I'm going to take this trade with, like, as you know, I'm always easygoing on size, so because I probably take a few trades. I know Guru always takes a few swings, and he says like, okay, take 1% or 50% or half a percent. But I'm born with it. No, not really. But what I do is I take multiple trades. So for me, half a percent is the way to go on all my trades, and then I take 4 or 5 trades, which end up being 2.5%. And in theory, what happens is 1 or 2 work out and 2 or 3 fail. Maybe 1 I close in BE break even, or 2 I close in break even, and 1 goes to stop. So if you would make the calculation, I'll probably end up with 1 or 2 are rewards of it. So for me, it's maybe a little bit more a high risk game, but I really like it. The question is, where do we put our stop from this move? And let's just keep it easy again. I just pull the fib here. We see that we have our nice 886, which is where I always put my stop. And then we see we have our nice move here. We could actually, instead of aiming for this high, I'm probably going to TP everything here. But of course, you can do whatever you like, right? It's a good level to wait for this high. We could like rate the high or whatever it's called. But I will take off most of the risk here. Anyways, I am going to take this trade here. Let me take my trading phone. Oh, I have already a lot of trades, apparently. I entered them before. We'll go over it. But anyways, I will add this one to... yeah... So, if you enter it with me, please do, but keep in mind 0.5% risk is the way to go. No more, no less. It's no question. It's just the way you have to go if you want to make some profits in this market. Yeah, you can also go 50%, right? But then you will get burned and you'll have to empty your savings account, which I need for other things in trading. So I entered a 0.5% here on the YFI USD. I'll send it in the channel so you can see it. I don't know if you have any, if anybody has any questions with this small, this small trade. I know it's not a swing, and we could make it a swing, but I'm not really a swing trader. I like intraday trading, and I'm not sure if this will be an intraday trade, but if you can see it, we'll just take Guru logic, which makes a lot of sense. We'll see here there's here some kind of a range, right? So wait, let's go to the 4 hour. Let's maybe remove my mess here a little bit. And then we pull a range here. It's pretty difficult for me to see a range here. I guess we do this. Then we put on that range thingy. Yeah. Oh, didn't switch it. Yeah, now it did. So we'll remove this, and we remove this fat line here, and this one. Jesus Christ. This one. And then you actually see that we formed some kind of a deviation, and of course I always follow those because they are the money makers. But what happens is it's forming here some kind of a range, bam, bam, bam. A few times it touches it. This becomes like a support. Yeah, not really nice. This becomes like a support, and you cannot get through. It breaks through with that move. I already said in the chat, I don't really count that wick. I know that a lot of people count the wick, but I don't necessarily count the wick as a deviation, because it's just like cascading event. It's not. For me, it doesn't matter if there's a wick or not. But what did happen is that after that we got below here, and normally a normal guy who would not want to risk his money will wait until we reclaim that range. And what would it look like? It would look like something like this. And then I think you will see a lot of people on crypto Twitter start to long these kind of setups. But I always try to catch some bottoms, and we do that by taking a little bit more risk, and that's why we do the 0.5%. So knowing 0.5%, it is for me a lot more rewarding to already enter here. And what happens if I get stopped? It doesn't matter. I just lose 1.5%. Who really cares about it, right? I don't. I made so many percents before. One trade that goes well is a lot of percents. So to me, it's not really relevant to worry about 0.5%. And I know that you need to manage your portfolio. You need to make sure that you don't over risk, and really focus on that until you learn it doesn't matter. As long as you are taking the risk factor into account, it does not matter how many trades you lose. I mean, I can lose 10 trades in a row. Okay, hopefully it doesn't happen, because my self-confidence will be very low then. But it doesn't really matter a single thing. My account will not get liquidated. I am already past that part, and you should be too. It should be normal mindset to not risk everything all the time. And once you are able to take that into your trading, then it's normal, and you don't have to think about it anymore. Now it always seems like, I can only risk 0.5%, I can only risk 1%, I can only do this. Yeah, friend, if you do 100 trades and you fail, you fail 50% of the time, and you do good risk management, you still make a lot of money. If you do 100 trades, and if you want to do 100 trades and you full port it in the first trade, your portfolio is blown and you never get to a second trade. So I will take this. If you are a bit more risk averse or whatever, you can wait until it reclaims that range here, and then try to take the trade.